Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we proudly stand here to present to you our social business plan, the I. The I primarily aims to deter and prevent sexual crimes in Hong Kong. Now you may say, there are so many girls and children out there. Why would you fall victims of sexual crimes? Now, ladies and gentlemen, statistics will reveal to you the harsh reality that sexual crimes is one of the most prominent problems that every one of us in this room might fall victims of. Now, you may not trust us, but do trust the statistics from the Hong Kong Police Force. Having a closer look at the crime statistics, you can see that in just half a year this year, there are over 50 occasions of rape, as well as around 700 occasions of indecent assault. We can thus conclude that there is an increasing trend of reported sexual violence cases, especially from 2013 to 2014. And among all these reported sexual violence cases, children is definitely the most vulnerable group of victims. This pie chart from the Social Welfare Department will tell you that over 30% of the reported child abuse cases actually involve sexual abuses, and not to mention the unreported cases in Hong Kong. Ladies and gentlemen, these cold-blooded figures might not be able to move you, but our video will. So let's have a look at our promotional video.
Have you ever imagined yourself walking alone at night? If you were her, what would you do?
首先第一嘅嗌救命啦
，To run as fast as they can，
大聲話俾佢聽 no，
尋求別人的幫助吧。
真靈咁樣同佢講，你停手啊！
其實幫手，即刻第一時間打電話報警。
Introducing our invention, the I, a pocket-sized device that combines all the solutions, and with it, you have sound emitted, video recorded, and the police called all in one go. The device has a switch for activation, a Bluetooth chip to connect to your smartphone, a buzzer which creates a loud noise, an encrypted storage to save the footage, and a processor that allows for fast processing. When you're under attack, all you need to do is to pull the trigger. The eye will start emitting a loud sound which acts as an alarm to the attacker as well as people around you. It will automatically be connected to an external call center through your smartphone. The GPS coordinates will tell us exactly where you are, and the video captured by the pinhole camera will be streamed simultaneously. Our center will filter any false alarms, and in cases of emergency, our staff will contact the police immediately. We will monitor through the screen 24/7 and offer assistance anytime, anywhere. Your beloved ones will be notified through our smartphone app, such that it allows instant connection between you, your family, and friends. Our app allows you to connect up to 10 devices, and through which you can check the battery level, view your activation history, and manage various settings. The eye is extremely portable. You can carry it wherever you go and however you want. It blends in with your attire as it can be worn as a necklace, a brooch, a keychain, or a watch. It can even be a blush toy. So what do you think?
我覺得聽落嚟都幾好，方便攜帶。
有個 alarm system 嚇佢嗰個色狼，我覺得其實有用嘅。
what you are suggesting is really good. The product is very good solution because police will come immediately and it's very useful detecting the different.
都有㗎，因為你即刻拍到佢片啊嘛，即係有人證物證，咁就可以捉到嗰個真係兇手。
有女性朋友的话，应该会推荐他们去买。
It is our vision to make the world a better place with technology and innovation. With the aid of this unprecedented 3-in-1 device, we hope to put more criminals behind bars and make Hong Kong a safer city. Introducing the Eye, your pocket guard.
In view of the statistics, and as well as the video you all just saw just now, I'll tell you about our beneficiaries, who we want to target. Who we want to target are twofold. One, children, and two, women. This is because these are the two most vulnerable groups in our society, and thus, we should provide the most help to them. So, we will now move on to talk about the device and the comparisons between it and similar products in the market right now. There are 4 products right now. The first one is pepper spray. It can be highly effective. However, the problem is that it is illegal in Hong Kong, so you cannot even hold it onto you. The second one would be sound-emitting keychains. This is the most prominent and popular solution in Hong Kong. However, the problem with keychains is that, first, it can't actually take any evidence. Second, it can report a crime to the police. And third, and most importantly, it can be easily countered by attackers, because if you just press the button again, it could stop the alarm. Or if the attacker is actually very violent, you could just throw away the whole keychain. Looking towards the world, another solution that was given was the Defender. This is a pepper spray where if you press a button, it would also take a picture, as well as call a call center, which will then call the police. However, the problem with this is that it's not very portable. Although you can put it in your pocket, however, it cannot be worn. So it would be very obvious to all attackers, and it is not very convenient for normal day users. And the last one we'd like to introduce is a narrative clip. This is very similar to our product, the Eye, as it's really small and actually can take videos. However, one difference between it and the Eye is that it does not have a function of self-defense and deterrence. So, in coming towards and innovating the Eye, we applied a few concepts and looked at the similar products in order to get to it. One of the most interesting concepts would be the design-driven innovation. So, this is a bullet point of shield and sword. So what does that mean? Normally, for keychains or buzzers, it can only act as a shield. If an attacker attacks you and you press the button, it can defend you as it deters the attacker. However, the attacker can still attack another person. So in the end, it only shields yourself. It does not help the society. It's a net zero. However, our product can be a sword because by using the video recording function, it can actually take evidence of the incident and facilitate the police to prosecute the attackers and reduce the number of attackers in our society, making it help. Another concept was the bricolage, social bricolage. This is a usage of different concepts from a combination of gadgets. So the 3 most prominent concepts we used were from the Defender, narrative clip, and sound emitting device. And they are the call center, the small recording device, video recording, and the loud buzzer noise, respectively. These were the 3 concepts we tried to integrate into our product, the Eye. So this is the Eye as we introduced in our ad just now. And this is a pocket-sized the Eye prototype. As you can see, when it's white, it can blend into our attire. And to supplement our video, there are 2 ways to activate the Eye. You can pull the trigger to activate it, or if it is torn away by the attacker, it will also activate. So there are 2 ways to activate the device. And it can give a fuller protection to to the user. And this is a smartphone app we introduced in the video just now. As stated, there are three main functions. You can check the battery, you can see the activation history, and you can change the settings. Now, we move on to the marketing and the business solution. So what are the resources that we'll need for this proposition? There are threefold. First, we need funds. And second, we need partnerships. Fundraising can be done, hopefully, in one way, in getting the support of charitable groups and trust funds. For example, these two. We hope to actually get this amount of money in order to help us with the initial development cost, as well as the head cost. And second, the partnerships. We want to partner up with NGOs and charitable organizations in order to reach out to the vulnerable groups and provide the services that they need. And third, we want to partner up with technology companies in order to reduce the production costs so that the eye will be more affordable to everyone.
So we talk about our business model. So obviously the hardest topic to talk about is cost. And the highest cost we estimate would be the initial research and development and also production costs. We estimate it would be around 1 million Hong Kong dollars. So it also includes the production of the first initial 2,000 units. We hope that each unit should be around the price of $100. So we hope that the pricing would not be too deviated from this amount. And also, because it's also a service, we provide a customer service center, and we estimate it would be around 85,000 per month to run this center. So our pricing model, we will split it into two groups. So we have kind of price differentiation. For full price customers, we'll set the price at $48 per month, and also initial device unit price of $300. Now this is more than the cost. What we were trying to do is that the amount we get from full price customers is able to subsidize vulnerable groups, such as children. So we charge them $26 per month, and then we'll give the units for them for free. The revenue, we hope that initially the base customers will be around 2,000 customers, so 1,500 full price customers to subsidize 500 children. Therefore, that would meet the requirement of $85,000 to sustain our call center. Obviously, there's also initial product sales of $450,000, which would go into the production costs and research and development. Obviously, we hope to drive the cost down later. Now, some of the limitations and solutions, there's a technical, logical issue. We want to make this very small. So initially, the price might be high, but we hope to be able to drive this down by offering partnerships with tech companies to drive the cost lower. There's also a demand from public. Right now, we might have to do some marketing in order to increase the demand. And also the high unit price. Well, we hope to negotiate with some NGOs who are dealing with vulnerable groups, so we can offer a bulk price and available to a large number of people. So to conclude, what we want is to have an impact in Hong Kong. Obviously, we want to have the number of users increase. So what this happens is that we're able to drive the sexual crimes in Hong Kong to a lower rate. And because this product can be used for a number of scenarios, so even for assault and battery, so we hope that more people can use this device and drive the overall crime rate to a minimum in Hong Kong. And this is to conclude our presentation. And is there any questions from the floor?
Let's have the judges, please. Judges.
Please. Oh, well, I got a question about some technical issues. In your presentation, you mentioned that your device connect to the mobile phone, and then will and then pass the situation to the service center. So how about if what if your mobile phone is out of battery? Any contingency plan or any particular design to handle this situation?
Well, Initially, we do want to have the whole product to be able to send the information. Initially, we thought about a product which can do everything itself on its own. But that would include, we might have to put in a SIM card and also other things into the product, and it will drive up the cost. We do know the limitations that it has to be connected to the phone, but obviously we can't have a device that can fit all scenarios. Right now, with the technology right now, that's all we can offer, I think.
I think another point is, as Charles mentioned earlier, this product is both a shield and sword. And in scenario where you are so unlucky for whatever reason your phone doesn't connect or some sort of technical issue, it will still emit sound and it will still capture the video onto your device, which is why we have the storage. And so it still acts as a deterrent, and also it will capture the video in case you get away, and you can still capture the criminals. So that's it.
What kind of ordinance or related ordinance that you think your device have to apply for the approval before being allowed to use in the market?
I think the most important probably be the privacy ordinance. It involves taking pictures in public, but how we solve the problem is that the video captured on the device cannot be seen by the user himself. All the video is actually being sent to the call center who actually looks at it. So there's no, you can't use it in the changing rooms or in the toilets. Whatever you take, you can't be used yourself. And so the only way that you can see them is when that is used as evidence going into court. So we try to mitigate any of these privacy issues there.
How about any telecommunication ordinance that in Hong Kong controlling, ensuring that your connectivity to the mainstream phone system will not block the entire system in Hong Kong?
I think we actually went to the police. We called one of the police officer and tried to get an interview, and he refused, but he do it on the phone. So I asked him any legal issue we have to consider with this device. As we mentioned, this might, if any delay, do we have any liabilities over it? And I think in general, all the officer concerned was so long as you don't attack anyone with pepper spray. That's his major concern. And after that, he thinks telecommunication or an app through the internet and then back to the center and someone call through 999 is fairly decent. And I don't think at that point, on that scale, we don't need our own network. I think eventually maybe.
Eric?
Some comments to your product. Is it possible to reduce the size?
That's a double prototype. Definitely. That's nice.
I think what is your target size of this?
How thin it would be?
Right now, the narrative clip, which only does the video recording, is just the size of that. So that's why you can hide it in make the plush toy. But obviously, we're not engineers, but we hope that we can develop that size. The product you're holding right now is initially what we envisioned what it would look like, and then we actually went to a 3D printer to print it. So hopefully, I guess we can make it much smaller. That's why the smaller we make it, the more you can hit it in a necklace or some other, maybe for children, maybe like a toy or just a brooch.
So and the second question is, what's your target? The first group of your target user, how to promote your clip to them?
How to promote?
Yeah.
Well, normally we thought about the vulnerable group more, but for the full price customers, we want to make that into forms of jewelry and then promote. So it's more for females who are probably working, they have an income, and feel vulnerable to attack when they work late at night going home. So these are the other groups that we're targeting. I guess how we market them would be, I guess, just marketing. Use normal marketing, maybe.
And you sell it to the schools or through, I think, would income. Well, there's this organization, Income, which basically is for protecting sexual abuse against child, and I think that would be our starting point. And again, they refused for an interview. We actually chased them down in Lausanne, and they locked the doors on us. That was sad. But in any event, I think like some NGOs who target to protect crimes away from children, that would be our first stepping stone, and then we move on into schools, and then from there, I think if everyone knows it, then it will hopefully be successful.
I tend to be the good judges usually in the final presentations. I think you have done a really good job in terms of doing the field interviews with the actual potential users. I think that's really helpful. So it makes your project more real, and it's also very highly creative in terms of the overall idea, but also in terms of how you shoot the video. And no one tells you to shoot a video. Yeah. And you also create a prototype, and no one told you to create a prototype. That's way beyond the expectation, so that's really great. That helps tangibilize the ideas, really. And I think you are working on a very real and tangible problems, not only in Hong Kong, but also problems worldwide. So I can see the potential application of this device for various contexts and geographical areas. So I congratulate you on the project. Any one or two questions from the audience?
Yeah. My question was with regard to your argumentation with reference to deterrence. In the realm of sexual crimes, harsh punishments such as capital punishments have not been successful in deterring sexual crimes. How do you think an alarm in your device, the eye, could deter something as a sexual crime, especially considering that there is a time lag between the emittance of the alarm and the appearance of the involved forces? And also you may argue that it may guarantee conviction of the perpetrator because it has a video recording. But then the obvious loophole to that is disguise. If someone's wearing a mask, you can't convict them if you can't recognize them. So they could just perpetrate the crime and flee from the scene, since you're taking advantage of the time lag.
An answer. When we came up with the device, we know that there are a number of scenarios when it can't do. But what we try to do is that make a device when it can catch perpetrators who are not wearing a mask and who are actually do get scared of the alarm. I think 80% of perpetrators do it because no one can see it or no one's found. I can't stop the 20% who goes on to do these crimes regardless of capital punishments, regardless of anything. So what our product hopes to do is at least we can reduce some of the perpetrators who will be scared of the alarm, who will be convicted when they're taking evidence against them, and do eventually get behind bars.
I think there's another point that I want to supplement on, is the deterrence is not on the fact that I know you're raping me, so that, and it's taped, and eventually you will be in jail. The deterrence part is just merely emitting a loud noise, because in Hong Kong you can't do much more than that. If you're that great, you can just fight back or run away. So it emits a loud noise and attract attention, and I think that's the key part, especially in Hong Kong, in such a dense city. That's the essential part.
I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding of the deterrence. When you're talking about deterrence in the legal system will not help, it is mainly based on the argument that when they're doing these crimes of violence, there's too much adrenaline rushing through their heads that they can't actually think clearly, or they're already half a foot inside the door, so they might as well go through the whole door. So the deterrence we're actually providing is that we're trying to make them snap out of it. The alarm can actually make them remember that there are consequences to your violent actions, towards your adrenaline rush, whatever you do. We're trying to snap them out of it, even though they may not be thinking very logically at that moment and may not be thinking about the consequences. We're trying to make them remember. So I believe that this will indeed have a deterrent effect. And the two deterrent effects are quite different.
One last question.
Ladies, any question from you? You're the users.
Okay.
Sometimes? No?
Okay, this seems no further
Yeah,
questions.
thank you.
Thank you.